Kirsche situation is genuinely hilarious. What happened to Kirsche?
Here. So
can we talk about that Kirsche sounds like a black woman's name? Is Kirsche black? She also has like that black twang that they have. What does Asmongold's girlfriend look like?
I don't think there's anything more satisfying when it comes to the coverage of content creators than seeing an individual who engages in cancel culture and life ruination campaigns.
They do that quite a lot to Kirsche for no particular reason. She doesn't even say anything crazy.
Having a sense of karmatic justice inflicted upon them, where you have an individual who's trying to ruin the lives of others, finally get that sort of energy directed back to them by the same people they were trying to impress just months ago.
Yes,
so that's what's going on in today's video. It is a bit of an update on the journalist slash VTuber Anna.
I'm glad bro is copping a feel on this big ass titty right here. Also, why am I behind Kirsche?
Valens, who many of you might recognize for some unfortunate reasons. Last year we covered Anna Valens multiple times because they made 3
Anal Valens, that's the game journalist, right?
Hit pieces on the VTuber Kirsche, not only trying to label her as a bigot and a Nazi, but labeling her fans as...
Is there anybody on the right-leaning side that the left won't call a Nazi just because they have different political views? I swear to God, words just have no meaning anymore.
The same. Also, during this whole campaign, they were trying to engage in life ruination, trying to get Kirsche's sponsors to be pulled. That, of course, failed, and ultimately the 3 articles on Vice were pulled, and all the people engaging in this ridiculous campaign look quite embarrassing to this day. And
I have a hot take. I think everybody going after right-leaning content creators, political or sponsors is actually good for them, because that leads more to authentic community support and more donations. So it's honestly not really that big of a deal. But, you know, I mean, more power to these people who think that getting like, my advanced GG sponsor's been taken away, my life is ruined. That's just not how it works.
Really show their true colors. But now, a lot of the people that were impressed by these articles, including the insane...
Her name is Anal Violence? Okay.
...people over at Blue Sky are now turning on Anna Valens, basically eating their own. Now, ironically enough...
Yes, that is what they do every single time, because they hate everyone, including themselves.
...calling Anna Valens a Nazi, and even going as far as to say that Anna Valens is a Kirsche fan. Ooh. Yes, the irony is palpable, ladies and gentlemen. Now, of course, this whole thing started with a life ruination campaign targeting a sponsor. But speaking of sponsors, ladies and gentlemen, we have just over 24 hours left on the official Rev Plushy campaign. This UA Market campaign is coming to a close very soon. Here's your complimentary 360 view of my Plushy. As you can see, we're near 400% funding as we close things out here. All support on this campaign has been greatly appreciated. And if you want to help out the channel and this campaign and future campaigns as well, please check out the link to this page in the pinned comment. Do not miss out on your opportunity to get this. This is a limited time campaign and will not be returning. So please go ahead and show your support. If you are interested, it is greatly appreciated. So let's get back to the content for today. So I'm sure most of you have heard of the VTuber Kirsche at some point. She was the fixation of the journalist slash VTuber Anna Valens for quite some time. And it all started with articles like this back in 2025. This was one of 3 articles posted to Vice about Kirsche by Anna Valens. And as you can see, quite the inflammatory description of Kirsche, where the entire goal was to label her and her fans as Nazis and to get Kirsche's sponsors pulled. Also,
can you imagine being the brain-dead retard who said, oh, I can't watch this guy, he's a Nazi? Imagine taking that word seriously in 2026.
I'll never understand.
Like, honestly, you're deterring people who I don't want in my audience away from my community, so it's honestly doing a great service.
Understand why of all the artwork pulled for Kirsche, you get the one that goes as hard as this one. But anyways, eventually, to make a long story short, the 3 articles were removed by Vice after threats of legal action by Kirsche, of course. And, well, this would cause a spiral on social media where a lot of the Looney Tunes over at Blue Sky and on Twitter as well were trying to stand up for Anna Valens. In fact, you had hashtags like this, hashtag I stand with Anna Valens.
I stand with anal violence, says transsexual Joestar. Oh my God, what is happening?
And of course, the totally sane people you can see supporting that. But ultimately, as pointed out here, if you want to pick a side, well, are you really picking a side with someone like Anna Valens, who wrote this infamous article back in 2020 that they seem to never want to address, or any of the supporters want?
What playing Fall Guys with a sex toy means for sex, tech, and consent in games. Play is an erotic experience, and I'm having a blast. What the f are we talking about?
To address
You got a dildo up your ass while playing a game for 5-year-olds? Hey, I guess her name really is Anal Violence.
Where they hooked up an adult toy to themselves and then played Fall Guys, where essentially if they ever made contact with another player, it would activate their toy, giving them gratification. And in case you're confused here, they're playing a game predominantly played by children, and basically, without consent, forcing those around them in the game to engage in this activity, which of course includes children. And this is the person now who is the moral arbiter of what's allowed in the VTubing scene and is trying to get people's sponsors. Jesus. Now, things would turn even worse for Anna Valens because even the wackadoos on places like Reddit and Blue Sky would start to turn on them eventually because of many different reasons, but because of one.
If you get turned on by the facts of Blue Sky, you just need to get off the internet, man. There ain't no way. There ain't no way Blue Sky turns on you. That's crazy.
They made an article.
That's like going to the special needs club and then saying you're too retarded even for us.
Basically a puff piece about Pippa, which is very odd. And in the article, basically, Anna Valens professes that they're a big fan of Pippa, and they label Pippa as edgy and a sort of shock jock. And I guess that upset all the people on Blue Sky, who now considered Anna Valens a traitor. And then, also, speaking of life ruination, Anna Valens would try to get multiple sponsorships. And as you can see, to the chagrin of people on Reddit, they were swiftly removed after people alerted waifu wares of their long history of behavior. But the big focus for today is Blue Sky, the insane asylum of the internet. I mean, there's a lot of dark, disturbing areas on the internet. Almost every social media platform has a bunch of wackadoos on it right out in the open, but Blue Sky is like a concentrated dose of the craziest people. And as pointed out here, Anna Valens is not having a good time in his socialist hug box. And you can see some of these screenshots here. This person saying, Anna Valens coming back to Blue Sky to harass and demean indie VTubers. Just block and move on at this point. And ironically enough, the post was about VTweeters, saying VTweeters are super common in indie VTubing. A ton of VTubers have a persona, artwork, post, and not much else. Cannot stress enough how common, in quotes, I laid out my Twitch, but I haven't started streaming yet, end quote, it's so common that we have a derogatory term for it, VTweeter. And the funny thing is, Anna is not even wrong here, okay? This is not a wrong description of VTweeters, and I use it as an insult, okay? There's a big VTweeting problem when it comes to the Western side of the VTubing scene.
Absolutely.
VTweeters tend...
People get a model, they pay like $500 for a model, and then they announce their debut soon. It never happens. They use the VTubing community for blind support, and they get like 8,000 X engagement they normally get, and they just tweet the most retarded shit possible, chasing any trend or backing any already socially acceptable public opinion. That's all they do. They're pathetic.
They be the most insufferable individuals. The same type of people who routinely engage in cancellation campaigns, life ruination campaigns, just like the ones that Anna Valens started against people like Kirsche. So it is a bit ironic to see them talking about this sort of stuff because VTweeters ideologically align pretty well with people like Anna Valens. But you can see more posts here. Anna is posting screenshots of my account on the Nazi bar. Yes, that is their name for Twitter. But continuing on, this user says, literally putting targets on other trans people's backs for a sarcastic post saying Kirsche was your comfort streamer. Nice move, Anna. And people down here saying, I'm sorry you're getting any flack for this. It's absolutely vile behavior. This whole situation sounds crazy. I'm going to distance myself from Anna. Anna is a see you next Tuesday and a coward. Now look at the individuals doing this. Like, doesn't it all make sense? This is the exact rhetoric that Anna Valens and their ilk have been spreading since the whole Ruination campaign began.
Side note, look at Silvervale's massive fucking jugs, bro. They're so huge. They're 90% of the thumbnail in her profile picture. Good Lord. Good for her. I didn't know she was partial owner of GamerStubs. Good for her, man.
And against Kirsche. Recently, this user saying, hey, chat, you can commission me for the same price instead of buying the Nazi drink powder, referring to GamerSubs, which was the...
GamerSubs is great. Use code BALDY for 10% off.
...targets of the cancellation campaign against Kirsche.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I still be making hella money off GamerSubs, and I barely even talk about it these days. I genuinely love GamerSubs. They're so good to me, it's crazy.
They're trying to get her GamerSubs sponsorship pulled, and you can see this person not only labeling it as the Nazi drink powder.
What's see you next Tuesday? That's slang for f off, cunt.
Which is right exactly in the sort of rhetoric that Anna Valens was spreading last year, but also this person is opportunistic and using it as an opportunity to try to get their commissions filled up. Now, good luck with that. But anyways, going back to the thread here, There's another post saying, I'm so sorry to that previous individual. She's a turncoat and a Nazi. Please do everything you need to protect yourself above all else. Deactivate if necessary.
Jeez.
Unacceptable. I'm sorry, the worst people have the thinnest skin. Wow, someone from Blue Sky talking about having a thin skin. If someone on Blue Sky says you have a thin skin, that is a burn, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, because if you go to Blue Sky, it says it's because you were too thin-skinned for Twitter. And you couldn't take the public pushback, so you got to run to another platform. It's pathetic.
But, of course, here's some of the
Restock Happy Juice? Hey, man, tell GamerSubs that, man.
replies to the thread sharing these screenshots saying, heartwarming. The people you despise are fighting amongst each other. Love to see it. Funny, because what Anna said there is fairly accurate.
True.
Which is true about V-tweeters. It was an accurate description, but unfortunately, when you pedal to the insane asylum that is known as Blue Sky and actually value their approval, they're going to turn on you very quick by having an objectively right observation about the phenomenon known as V-tweeters. But anyways, here's another one saying, LOL, so one of his trans peers made a joke about him and proceeded to add them on a list. Here's another one of Marine.
Here's a TLDR of this situation. You can spend your life virtue signaling, but what you have to realize is your community will become those who you advocate for. And if you surround yourself with weak-minded individuals, then those that you are trying to weaponize, one day those weak-minded individuals will be weaponized against you. If you pander to the weak, those will be the first to stab you in the back. And the reason why Kirsche is still standing and the reason why anal violence is losing her career even more is due to the fact that Kirsche doesn't pander to pussies. So anal violence is getting everything that she deserves. And honestly, she still deserves more pushback than that. What type of weird puts a sex toy in their ass while playing Fall Guys, a game for children? Weird as shit.